Appliance. Among automotive journalists, it's one of the harshest criticisms that can be lobbed at a car. The Toyota Camry is a frequent recipient of the appliance label. It's been called soulless, boring, beige, and yet it's one of the best-selling vehicles in the country. Are all those Camry buyers crazy, or do they know something that the professionals don't know? Let's get to the bottom of it. To start, let's lay some groundwork. The Toyota Camry is a mid-size front-drive sedan. My first exposure came from my grandparents, who owned a string of Camrys dating back as long as I can remember. So did my wife's grandparents. Perhaps your grandparents did too. The Camry has long been a sales leader for Toyota, winning favor with drivers of all ages, though mostly older, with a powerful mix of comfort, reliability, value, and inoffensiveness. In designing the 7th generation Camry, Toyota retained those strengths while attempting to infuse the car with a bit more emotion. One area where those efforts are apparent is the exterior styling, which looks more daring than in years past. Not unlike that middle-aged dude who started working out and dressing better, the latest Camry isn't the zenith of cool, but it is trying. If that same middle-aged dude got a tattoo and took up stand-up paddleboarding, you'd have the Camry SE, with its sport-tuned suspension and more aggressive-looking grille, rocker panels, and spoilers. See, Camry's down for a good time. The interior has also been contemporized, looking more modern without losing that familiar Camry simplicity, comfort, and ease of use. The audio and climate controls feature huge text in a completely unambiguous layout. Look, audio, climate. While passenger comfort is enhanced by comfortable seats and squishy places to put your elbows. Complaints might include cheap-feeling plastic on the steering wheel, and a B-pillar that's a little bit thick might hinder sideward visibility. But taken as a whole, the interior is incredibly inviting. Generous passenger space adds to that inviting feeling. There's excellent legroom, headroom is good, and the center seat is more usable than most thanks to a soft seatback and a barely there center tunnel. Another Camry strong suit that often gets overlooked is ease of ingress, which is to say it's easy to get in and out of. The door opens wide, the roof is high enough that odds are you don't have to duck to get in, the seat's high enough that it doesn't take a major leg effort to sit. It's easier to get in here than it is for that truck to get out of there. Not to be overlooked is the trunk. It provides a reasonable 15.4 cubic feet of space, 13.1 in the hybrid, has a wide opening, and rotates on hinges located far to the sides, so that trunk load of cupcakes is probably safe. The only complaint is a narrow pass-through that might hinder ambitious trips to IKEA. As a car reviewer, one of the biggest challenges is describing a car that's just plain good. If the Camry were awful or truly inspirational, this little talky bit right here would be much easier. It's a bummer for me, but for Camry drivers, that's the entire point. With that out of the way, here are the few thoughts I could scrape together about driving the Camry. The ride is soft without being completely disconnected from the road. In, day out driving, it's a nice, comfortable, confident handling setup. What's odd is the steering wheel. The size and shape sort of imply this sense of sportiness that isn't really backed up with the tactile information that comes back to the driver. Simply put, the Camry steers with a numb competence. Okay, so it might be light on thrills, but there is fun to be had, specifically from the optional 3.5-liter V6. The V6 suffers a mileage hit versus the base 4-cylinder, but still musters 30 mpg on the highway. It also makes for a really quick Camry. Florid and Toyota's tame family sedan effortlessly blast forth, impressively doing so with an absence of torque steer. Even with the base 2.5-liter 4-cylinder, there's a respectable 178 horsepower, enabling good performance along with highway fuel economy in the mid-30s. The sole transmission choice is a 6-speed automatic that, in the SE trim, includes steering wheel mounted paddle shifters. The transmission works fine, though it's occasionally slow to downshift when you bury the throttle. Then there's the hybrid. Combining a 2.5-liter 4-cylinder with a 105-kilowatt electric motor and a nickel-metal hydride battery pack, the hybrid delivers a total output of 200 horsepower. In driving the Camry Hybrid, KBB's editorial team came away impressed with the seamlessness of its powertrain, as well as fuel economy figures that exceed 40 mpg in the city and approach 40 mpg on the highway. Supplementing the Camry's practical side are some cool tech-oriented options like blind spot monitoring, a backup camera, navigation, and keyless entry with engine start. But the most interesting option is N-Tune, Toyota's multimedia telematics system that makes much of the functionality of a smartphone available through the vehicle. It lets you do stuff like listen to internet radio, order movie tickets, make dinner reservations, check sports scores, and more. It's a cool system that'll only get cooler as more apps are added. One of the Camry's key strengths is its value. Even in base form, buyers get all the essentials like air conditioning, cruise control, Bluetooth, stability and traction controls, 10 airbags, and an audio system with auxiliary and USB inputs. Pricing is competitive for the class, starting under $23,000, destination included. Opt for the top-line XLE V6 trim with its heated leather seats and moonroof, and the asking price rises to a little less than $31,000. The Camry's value proposition is further reinforced by resale values that lead the segment. And what a segment it is! The number of mid-size sedans on the market is huge and includes standouts like the Honda Accord, Chevy Malibu, Ford Fusion, Hyundai Sonata, and Nissan Altima. Given the number of competitors, there really is a car for every taste. So what about you? Do you think of driving as a chore? Do you wish your car functioned as simply and reliably as a coffee maker? Maybe what you really need in a car is an appliance. Yes, the coffee aficionados might marvel at your lack of passion, but there's nothing wrong with a simple home-brewed cup. It might be light on soul, but for those who want a safe, competent, reliably unsurprising sedan, the Toyota Camry is an appliance that's hard to beat. And for those who want a bit more passion, you've got options.